Well, today is the end of a long 10-year ordeal whereby Richard Enderby and the other producers thought that their process, because it was almost endangered, should have some special recognition. And the decision was taken to apply for the protected geographical indication, which we've been sharing the success of today.
Can specialist fish smokers survive, left with a shrinking market? Do we abandon generations of skill and knowledge? Do we abandon unique 100-year-old buildings with their tall chimneys? No. 100 years ago, we were world leaders. We will not abandon such an illustrious heritage. You have taken our trawlers, but you won't take our traditional smokehouses. The tradition of fish smoking goes back 150 years in Grimsby, and it's all that we put forward in our application, saying that it is a traditional product that's virtually unchanged over that time. Okay, we've modernised premises and things, but the actual smoking process has remained unchanged.
Well, clearly it's important not just to Grimsby and the region, it's also important to the country. As I mentioned in my remarks earlier, Yorkshire and Humber region is the biggest food producer in the whole of the UK. 14% of the UK output comes from the Yorkshire and Humber region. So there's a significant player regionally in terms of employment and produce.
I'm delighted to be asked to propose a toast. The Humber is the centre of the UK seafood processing industry. We employ over about 5,000 people. We account for over 70% of the seafood consumed in this country. And I would like to propose a toast and congratulate Richard and his team.
It's what we're recognised for on a global basis as the people who can take seafood from around the world and convert it into products that people want to eat.
It's good to have this European certification and to say that we're the 39th one that we've got in this country compared to the 300 or so that Italy and France are. We've got to keep pushing that, and Grimsby can make other contributions. So this is a first step along the way, and I think it's been a very successful launch today. So I hope that other people follow suit, and that this is pushed on a UK-wide basis for people to buy it to know the quality comes from Grimsby.
I'm always optimistic about Grimsby and the industry that I represent. There are far too many people that will knock it. This is a very lively, buoyant industry. We have more processors here than anywhere else in the UK and possibly Europe. People are hungry for seafood. I think this affords marvellous opportunity to process more. So I see with Jubilee Quest we'll get more local landed fish. With the advent of PGI we'll have a premium product that will command the right price and will send the right message that if you want seafood, Grimsby's the place to buy it from.
I first applied for the protected geographical indication, the EU status, 10 years ago when I saw it advertised in a magazine. And then the council came on board soon after that, and we formed a group, but it's taken us 10 years to actually achieve it. Well, the other companies we worked with to achieve the PGI were, it was David Atkinson at Atkinson's Fish Merchants, Ian Button at MTL Fish Curers, and Mark Wheatley at GH Abernethy's.
The award will mean that the cured product that we've always done is recognised throughout the country alongside the likes of Parma ham, Milton Mowbray pork pies. People can be sure that it's a process that's been handed down by generations and since more or less time began, because products have always been either smoked or salted to preserve, to give a natural flavour for later on. This is carried on now in this century from many years ago.
To receive the PGI was great. You know, finally we got recognition for the hard work, what goes into producing traditional smoked fish, as opposed to killed cured fish. We're looking at a 24-hour turnover of fish. Nothing's changed in 100 years. It's still very, very manual, but it produces a much better product. And I think now we've got acknowledgement that it is a better product compared to what the kiln smokers do and what most supermarkets sell.
Well, you can see the lads over there filleting. The fish has come off the market now, and they spend all day filleting it. And as it's filleted, it's then put into a brine, and it's just soaked in there for about 10 or 15 minutes. So we put the sawdust at the bottom of the smokehouse. We put a bag in each house, and that's lit at the end of the day once the fish is in the house. And it slowly smoulders overnight, so it's sort of like half burnt across by the morning. The bottom fish are ready, we get those out, and then to sort of speed up the process, to finish off the remaining fish, we open up the houses a bit so that it smokes a bit more. But it's a cold smoking process, there's no heat involved. There's cold air and smoke just wafting up, and that just dries the fish sufficiently to take it out upstairs and then pack it.
Well, by getting the PGI, we've secured our future. Everyone's been a little bit worried when the kilns were first introduced because it's mass production. It's much cheaper to produce smoked fish through kilns because of the time differences in, you know, as opposed to 24 hours, you're looking at 3 or 4 hours. Again, by getting the PGI, the public see what we're doing, and I think they'll now ask for traditional smoked fish. And yeah, the future's rosy.
I am just very proud of what we produce. I always have been. You know, it just gives me a good feeling. When someone rings up and says how good the fish is, or one of the public come in the shop and say, well, I've never tasted such good smoked fish in my life, that is a very rewarding feeling. We do it to make a living, but at the same time, those rewards are probably just as satisfying.